So the next thing you need to do is decide which classes you would like to take in the coming semester or semesters. There's a couple of things that you want to take into consideration. First of all, what courses do you need to meet the requirements for your program? Find the academic calendar, find your program outline in that calendar, and identify which courses you're going to need. The second thing you want to do is decide how many courses you want to take. Now, in the fall and winter semesters, students are allowed to take a maximum of 5 courses. In the summer semester, students are allowed to take a maximum of 4 courses, but no more than 2 at the same time. Normally, what I suggest to students is that if you're going to choose courses for a semester, you want to make a short list, say of about 7 or 8. So if you know you want to take 5 classes, I would choose 7 or 8 courses that you think you might like to take if they're available and if they fit into your schedule. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind when you're deciding how many classes you want to take is whether or not you have any other outside obligations. So first of all, part-time studies means that you're taking either 3 or 6 credit hours, 1 to 2 courses. So if you're taking 1 to 2 courses, that's part-time. And as far as the University of Regina is concerned, that's absolutely fine. You work at your own pace. If you need to be a full-time student, that means you're registered between 9 and 15 credit hours, or 3 to 5 courses. So if you have student loans, a study permit, or any other kind of obligation that requires you to be a full-time student, you need to register in at least 3 courses. Now keep in mind, when we're talking about an undergraduate degree or a Bachelor of Science, we're talking about 120 credit hours, or 40 courses altogether. Traditionally, students will complete this 120 credit hours within a 4-year time span, and that means that you're taking approximately 10 courses per year. So you can divide that up how you like and what works for you. What you want to remember is that each of these courses is going to require a certain amount of time investment from you. So if you're working, if you have some sort of sport obligation, if you have children, if you have anything that is going to take away from your time at the university, you want to make sure that you're taking that into account so that you don't overload yourself. So I'm going to assume for right now that you're going to register in at least 3 courses. A lot of students will start out with 3 or 4, see how the semester goes, and then adjust from there, depending on how well it goes, what works for you and what doesn't. So choose how many courses you'd like to take. Then you want to take a look at your academic program outline that you can find in the University of Regina calendar, which has the list of courses that are required. You certainly want to identify any courses that serve as prerequisites for other courses and make sure that you're getting those out of the way so that when your second year courses open up, you have the prerequisites for those courses. So there's a little bit of reverse engineering going on here. If you are a science qualifying student, chances are it's because you were missing a course. So it's a good idea to get those courses taken care of right away. So this will either be an English course, a science course, or likely having to do with your math sequence. So once you've identified which courses you'd like to take and how they're going to fit into your program, then you're ready to register for courses. Now, most of the time, students don't necessarily know what courses are good ones to take in their first semester. So I'm going to take a moment and go through some of the first year courses that are relevant to you. Okay, so here is a list of common first year courses that you might find you want to focus on in your first semester. So the first thing you want to pay attention to is what are the introductory level courses in my major area of study. So for example, if you're a biology student, you definitely want to take Biology 100 followed by Biology 101. If you're a chemistry major, Chemistry 104 is the course that is the first course in the major, but notice it does have high school prerequisites. So make sure in that case that you have the high school prerequisite before you register in this course. And then once you have the Chemistry 104, you'll be eligible to take the Chemistry 105 and 140. Similarly, with any major that you have, you'll find your introductory level courses are typically at the 100 level. Now, don't get too caught up on these numbers. As long as it says 100, it's basically an introductory first year course, but they're not necessarily in order beyond that. So for example, Chem 104 is in fact the first course in the major chemistry sequence. Chemistry 100 does exist. It is not a required course for the chemistry program. So again, you'll want to refer to the course calendar to identify which courses you actually need. You'll refer to the course catalog to identify what the prerequisites are for those courses. Now at the 100 level, most of these courses are introductory level, but they may have some high school prerequisites that you need to be aware of. If you don't have the high school prerequisite for a course, there is usually a university level course that you can take that will meet one of your elective requirements that will then meet the prerequisite for the following course. So here's a list of common first semester courses for science student. If you were to take courses from this list, you will not go amiss. The truth of the matter is that in terms of your first semester, it's very difficult to screw things up. Most of the courses that you could possibly take, we will be able to use in your program somehow. In the Faculty of Science, math is a requirement. So regardless of what program you are studying, you will need to meet your math requirements. But the math sequence can be a little daunting if you're not familiar with it. So I will take just a moment to try and clarify where in the math sequence you will start and what courses you will need. Now, most students who are admitted to the Faculty of Science have taken their Pre-Calculus 30 or Calculus 30 in high school. That's your grade 12 Pre-Calculus and Calculus. If you have taken that, you're in a good position and you're ready to start at the University of Regina sort of basic math level 110. So Math 110 is the course that we recommend for science students. Now, if you're doing a biology or psychology program, you may opt to take Math 103, but typically we recommend Math 110 followed by Math 111. That's our calculus sequence. You're eligible to register directly into Math 110 if you've taken Calculus 30 or grade 12 calculus, or if you've taken Pre-Calculus 30 and achieved a grade of 75% or higher. If that's the case, you're a math whiz, congratulations, you can start right at Math 110. If you've taken Pre-Calculus 30 but you received a grade of less than 75, or if you have not taken Pre-Calc 30 but you took Foundations of Math 30 instead, we recommend that you start with Math 102. Math 102 is designed to bridge students from the high school pre-calculus through to university level calculus. So that's a good starting place for most of you. For those of you who were admitted without meeting your math requirement, you're likely a science qualifying student. And in that case, you may actually have to go further back in the sequence. Now, we do offer high school level math at the university so that you can meet your prerequisites, but please note that you cannot use these courses to meet electives in your program. Math 102 we can use in your program, but the PMath 091 and PMath 092 will not be used in your program. These courses will be considered extra. That said, they will give you the foundation that you need in order to meet your Math 102 requirement. So if you're in this situation where you don't have your Pre-Calc 30 or your Foundations of Math 30, you may have to go back in the sequence and take PMath 091 or PMath 092. If you're not sure which, you're welcome to contact the Faculty of Science at science@uregina.ca and we can take a look at that for you. Before you do that, you may want to take a look at the math diagnostics tests. So from the University of Regina homepage, you can actually just search math diagnostics. And I will put a link to this on the student resources page as well so that it's very easy to find. So this is the Faculty of Science Math and Stats department, and they have a series of diagnostics tests. Now it's important for you to know this will not override a prerequisite, but it might help give you an idea of where you fall in the math sequence. So if you're not sure, but you know that you don't have your Pre-Calc 30 or your Calculus 30, I would suggest that you click on this AMath 091, AMath 092. Okay, and you can write the AMath 091 and 092 diagnostic test. This is designed to be written in your, at your kitchen table in an hour with no calculator, and it will take you through a variety of questions. Please show your work. As you go through these, do the best you can. This is meant to give you an idea of where you're at in the math sequence. Once you're finished, you can actually grade this yourself, and it will tell you whether or not you appear to be ready for PMath 091, which is the beginning of the sequence, or whether or not we want to look at entering right into PMath 092. So if you've done this test and you feel like you did reasonably well, you're welcome to submit it to science@uregina.ca. We'll take a look at your work and see if perhaps we can override you into the PMath 092. Now keep in mind that the whole purpose of PMath 091 and 092 are to get you into the math stream at the level that you are at so that we're setting you up to succeed. There's no point in throwing you into a calculus class if you're not quite ready for it. So that's what these classes are designed to do.